Good morning, George. You know who this is? Kevin. Co-host. Busy Dads Do Sci-Fi. There's a new show called The Orville on Fox. We should watch it. I believe it's Sci-Fi. Or there's a spaceship in it. I'm not sure what Sci-Fi is anymore, man. That whole Moonraker thing? Yeah, you're blowing my mind. You're blowing my mind, guy. I don't know how that is in Sci-Fi if The Orville is. Love ya.
End of
Busy daddies do sci-fi. Busy daddies do sci-fi. Busy daddies do sci-fi. Busy daddies do sci-fi.
Okay. Wow.
What, are you gonna read that all night?
I'm kind of nervous to put it down. I feel like I might put my water on it or something.
It's
I got a
different.
piece
Good
of paper.
evening.
It is different. Good morning. I'm George.
I'm Kevin.
We're taking sips of water, and
We're not drinking beer though.
no,
'Cause
but
tonight we're beer drinkers, don't spacefarers.
we couldn't do better than that, huh?
Space freight.
Space freight,
The
spacefarers,
original idea.
beer drinkers. If you were to expand upon it, it'd probably be like beer drinkers don't make spacefarers, or beer drinkers disguised as spacefarers. And there's context to
We
it.
also might be Butch Don't D Seth Farland.
We are badly doing science.
Farland.
I missed a D. I always missed a D. What?
Hey.
Oh! Let's keep it.
They
let's
call
keep
it the D these days,
Keep
you
it.
know?
Keep it clean.
It's kind of weird. Me and the boy go, we have annual passes to the D. But you say that, you know, you can't
say the.
Who started the D?
You can't say the D.
Who started that shit?
That's an internet
Like what-
thing. Reddit.
Reddit?
R started the D.
Oh, started the D.
You
Is it a meme?
we got to keep it clean because we've gotten some complaints about our language.
From who?
Well, there was a guy who complained a few months ago, and then apparently he kept on listening. Or he stopped listening, and then he said he'd give us another shot if we had cleaned our mouths up.
Did he report into you? Had
He
he
didn't
given
report
us a
in.
shot?
No, he left a voicemail, not a voicemail, an email, electronic mail, an E.
An E.
Which goes
So he
to-
left you an E about leaving the D.
He said, "Hey, if you guys
because
are
he
gonna
heard about it on the R."
Specifically, he wanted the F out of the PC. Otherwise, he would not L to our PC. AM.
Yeah.
Picking me up. You
Yeah.
peeing me you?
Loud and
This is how the kids talk, man. See, we gotta stay current with this. You know, there's this whole
peeing the U.
These kids, they like things a little bit more vulgar. They like it to include some drug and some alcohol usage. Things can't be wholesome anymore on television, especially.
I was in the office listening to my buddy talk about building something. And he said, so, we're going to rim the joist? I went, rim the joist? I just looked at him. And he goes, what? I go, rim the joist. And he writes, twice.
Twice.
Yeah.
So that's a when something sounds dirty but really isn't. Okay.
Oh, that's dirty.
Oh, that's dirty.
Yeah.
Rimming the joist.
She was asking for it.
Oh.
That's taking it back a couple episodes,
There we
isn't
go.
it, George?
Well, wouldn't be a Busy Dads Do Sci-Fi podcast if we didn't get at least a little offensive.
Is it going to hold us back? You think?
No, we're shooting.
would-
we're shooting for the stars here, pal.
Well, WWTGD. Do you know what that is?
WWTG.
D.
Ted McKinley.
What would Terry Gross do?
What would Terry Gross
What's she
do?
gonna do?
Do you guys who are listening to this, you know who Terry Gross is? She's a
Producer called again.
Vic called? What about?
No, her producer.
Oh, Mary Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You fantasize about Terry Gross. You bring her up often.
I think
Pew!
when we finally get our schedules together and we have the time when we're in town and she's not on the road doing her stuff, we'll get in the studio there.
We're
And I
pretty
think it's
busy.
going to be, yeah.
We're busy dads.
We're busy dads.
You going to the D. I'm staying in the LA. Not making it to the D as much anymore because I got a little T. I got a little tyke. No,
It's not the size of the
doesn't
T,
go to
George.
the D. No, it is.
Yeah.
I got a big T for 13 months too. But enough of this playground talk. So we're really blasting off here, man. You catching all the space metaphors that I'm throwing out here? Blasting off.
But I'm
We're
just
shooting
gonna
for the
assume like,
stars.
you just started.
We're shooting for the stars. We're blasting off, going to the moon.
Yeah. What the fuck? Hold on a second.
What's up?
That whole Moonraker thing you pulled?
I didn't pull it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we're talking about something.
Yeah.
Oh, no. You had texted me earlier in the week, and you asked me if Moonraker was sci-fi, which it decidedly is not.
I don't know. I mean, let me see. I'm gonna steal a space shuttle,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna get a disease, and I'm gonna release it into the atmosphere. But I'm gonna have to go to space to fucking figure that out and solve that.
You just lost our viewer who was hoping that we'd.
God, dude, I'm so
It's all right.
S.
We're gonna beep.
About
We're gonna
T.
beep those out. But no, I mean it's a spy movie.
I mean, no comprende. Why does that?
I don't know. I feel like they're in a class under yourself. It's
Maybe.
kind of like the comic book thing we talked about.
Sure.
Like Captain America has some pretty sci-fi elements in it. Green Lantern has some real sci-fi elements in it. I wouldn't classify
It's pretty convenient
that.
for you to let that stuff in there when it suits your own agenda.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to go to the M on this. Listeners gonna. I could have meant it.
To the market?
To the marijuana.
The marijuana.
I meant Matt. You don't have to go to the Matt on
And
this.
see, we brought back to it was a common saying. So now we're brought back to some of those things that the kids love seeing. Okay, kids today they like a little bit of harsher language. You know, they like a little bit of drug use, maybe a butt
marijuana
cheek,
reference.
or a couple marijuana references.
Just the sides of the boobies.
Back when I was a kid, it was enough to have a show about space exploration and have it just be about space exploration
With spacefarers in it?
with farers of space.
Would they freight things
You might
around
even
in space?
Well, you might even say that they moved from point A to point B. They I don't know, they trekked perhaps from some point in space to another point in space amongst the constellations, the planets, the stars, if you will. They were Star Trek.
Would maybe they pass a space shuttle where a moon was?
That's ridiculous.
I know,
Kevin.
that'd be weird.
It's really
I
weird.
mean, it's real is what it is, right?
So, it's real.
that makes it
love
gravity. That puts it in the gravity
It
zone.
puts it in gravity. We don't
Yeah.
want to deal with that shit.
Yeah, great.
Come
Thanks.
on,
Yeah, welcome
fantastic.
back, astronaut.
What am I watching? A sci-fi movie
Yeah.
or a soliloquy about like birth and the life cycle into death? I mean, starring Sandra Bullock.
That's people. He has that written down.
No,
right
no,
here.
no,
He
no, no.
Totally.
I memorized
He
it.
totally-
I didn't need to look at it. That's the thing. Difference between me and Kevin.
Dude,
But,
I'm really making it hard for you to get to this segue, aren't I?
No, because I have no segue to speak of.
You've been trying. You mean you just?
I would
you
be
have
just
no
milking.
segue to speak
The
of.
best I could possibly think of is I was trying to come up with why is this show that we're going to be talking about named what it's named. Now, obviously, there's a reason. It's about a starship. That is the focus of the show. But why is that starship named that name? And I was like having some popcorn, and I was like, is this an Orville Redenbacher? Like, is it that on the nose, or is it like it's just the silliest, most like wacky, but still could be the name of a ship name that they could come up with, the Orville?
It's milk toast.
It's total milk toast. They should have called it the USS Milk Toast. They might as well have.
Yeah.
The Orville. Because the Orville projects this It is not serious. It is meant to immediately, and I'm talking about the name. I'm not talking about the show itself. I'm talking about the name. When you see, oh, there's a ship and it's named the Orville, you would probably immediately get this like, well, not a whole lot of serious stuff happens on that ship, I'm sure.
It's sort of steampunky.
Called the Orville. The
Why-
ship itself?
No, like the sound, the Orville.
Yeah, the Orville.
It's just too easy.
It's too easy. That's a great
We
way to
should
put
just
it.
stop.
All right, good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Well,
Did you read any reviews? I did not.
I
am busy. I intended to.
right before I came over, I went through a couple of them. There's a lot of negative reviews for this show.
Right. Are these people who got to see a whole season?
No, these are people who saw pretty much what we saw.
Are these DBs on the R?
No, these are not DBs on the R, which is douchebags on the Reddit.
Yeah,
Okay.
right,
Hey.
you kids.
This is
You
what
guys-
happens, man, when you spend
our new look, man. Producer Vic was right. Less words, more letters.
when you spend enough time together. And PV was right about that one.
Mm-hmm.
When you spend enough time together, your mentality starts to get synced the way like women's periods get synced when they work in an office together. I am.
You'll have to. Let's
We're
take
good.
a moment here and explain.
Take a
because
moment to explain.
We're in a remote studio, being busy, and that's why you hear the room be a little bit different. We are fatigued. We had to troubleshoot the sound here in the remote studio, and apparently every 11 minutes,
11 minutes.
10 minutes, the screen will blank out here.
And give me a small heart attack. Well, the reason, I mean, we're having that giant
That's an
neon
HA.
sign. It's an HA.
Yeah.
We're having that giant neon sign installed in the old studio that says
Yeah.
"Busy Dads Do Sci-Fi." I think that's going to do wonders for the sound
Yeah.
quality.
Do you think
that
do
constant,
you think
like,
we really need to wear sunscreen, like that guy said?
I'm going to, just in case, because I mean, I have Italian hair, but I have Irish skin, Kevin. I just scorch, man. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. But
that's salvaged from a lot of gas stations.
a lot of gas. Man, did you see? You see the crowd who brought it over?
I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm
Holy
surprised they're letting us take that in there.
There were like 4 teeth amongst the 9 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, we watched 3 episodes of the Orville,
Which is all that we could watch.
Now
at this point, people.
here's the thing. I wanted to tell you this about the reviews. The guys who were speaking highly of it, they all had one thing in common.
Their middle name was Orville.
their last names were all MacFarlane.
Yeah,
It was like,
MacFarlane does it again.
signed Beth
Dave
MacFarlane,
MacFarlane.
Dave MacFarlane, Sarah MacFarlane.
DMF.
They all kind of said, if you love Star Trek, you're gonna love the Orville. Or if you're a fan of Star Trek: The Next Generation, you're gonna really like the Orville. This show has it all. It's got excitement, space, comedy, and that's kind of what they're billing it as. They're billing it as this like love letter to Star Trek. But hey, guess what? Those of you guys who aren't into Star Trek, it's by the guy who made Family Guy. So there's going to be some funny in it for you guys who don't want to just see a show about space exploration.
Uh-huh.
And that is, I think you could say, a pretty rudimentary, but it's pretty much the setup for the Orville.
And so immediately, a couple things come to mind. George, you love Star Trek.
I am
The ST.
I unabashedly like I love
He
Star
L's
Trek.
the
Man.
ST.
I love the ST TOS. I love the ST TNG. I love the ST DS9. The ST VOY. I love the ST ENT.
He even loves STDs.
That's more of like an acquired tolerance than it is a love. Like it's like I have to live with this, so I'm gonna learn to love it. It's like a roommate that you have
an
to
acceptance
and pay
thing.
rent.
Yeah.
You know, I've been that guy.
Yeah.
I still kind of am. Anyway, we're watching the Orville, and you want to set up the world? Go ahead.
So look,
I mean,
I'm hard pressed too.
Well, I'll talk about Star Trek in a second, but let's
Okay.
go into what's going on in
Well,
Orville.
I mean, it's Star Trek. They have I can't. This is hard, man. I just this
This is
where like
24th
I close
century.
the book and I stop reading.
yeah.
And so it's hard to like talk about like this.
24th century.
Oh, okay. You're gonna really do it.
Yeah, just like
okay.
no.
For
No,
someone
you know
who
what?
hasn't
You don't
watched
really get like it is. That's what it is. It's Star Trek. All right, it's Star Trek. Guy, his name is Ed Mercer, who Seth MacFarlane plays. He lives on Earth. He walks in and his wife is having an affair. Like, this is how the show that's about science fiction, this is how this show starts. His marriage ends. And in the next scene, he's given the command of a starship, which is called the USS Orville. He's always wanted to command an exploratory vessel. And the whole world is basically a federation of planets, just like Star Trek. They've got ships that are capable of quantum drive instead of warp drive, just like Star Trek. They've got holotechs, just like Star Trek. They've got phasers, just like Star Trek. There's bad aliens and everything like that, just like Star Trek. But
just
wait,
like science fiction. All right, so yeah.
yes, but
Okay.
there's a specific like this is not just like science fiction. They are suited in Star Trek clothes. The corridors look just like Star Trek. The bridge. But wait, his first officer is the ex-wife.
Right.
That cheated on him.
Annoying.
And we are now we're thrust into this idea that we're going to watch a ex-husband and wife couple leading a bridge of Starship Troopers into space.
And they ham on these.
There's relationship, not even relationship humor. There's relationship tropes like right off the bat, and there is so much in just the first episode that makes me kind of go, oh, that's supposed to be funny. They're having a conversation with an alien, and she's gonna ask him about like his relationship, and he's saying things like. The alien is saying things like, marriage takes work by both
Like, at
parties.
one
It's
point
like,
I was
that's
like,
supposed to
this
be
is like-
funny because he's an alien. And it's
I
like,
don't even think thoughts like this,
like-
but I was like, is this supposed to work on Trump supporters? Like,
Kevin.
go! Did we just
Whoa.
lose? How many million did we just lose?
There went 66% of the country.
People,
Fake news.
I regret voting for Trump. I do. I've seen the error of my ways. I thought
I'm
you
cutting,
know,
I'm
there
cutting all
was-
this out, man.
What?
We're not going here.
Anyways,
He was
that's
trying
what
to.
this
He
does
was
to
trying
me.
to create the idyllic vision of Star Trek, and not the idyllic vision of the Orville. And with his vote,
So, anyways, whatever, man. Look, dude. Who the fuck? Why is this fucking funny? What the fuck went on that this happened? And am I that cynical that a guy can fucking dream it up and happen? Is this what the networks are now? We all know that independent places like Netflix and Amazon are beating the pants off these idiots. You want to go to ABC and watch a guy and his fat wife, those networks are screwed, and Seth MacFarlane's running around. He's either the smartest guy in the room or he has some really shitty yes men. I think more of Seth MacFarlane than what he has done with this show.
now
And I don't think much of him.
let's bounce back to to Seth MacFarlane in general, because you brought up a really good point there. Seth MacFarlane is a huge Star Trek, Star Wars fan. He's a geek. He's a big geek. He loves Star Trek to the point where he convinced Brandon Braga, one of the producers, to put him in an episode of Star Trek Enterprise.
You know when I tried to get Brandon Braga to put me in a Star Trek episode, you know what he didn't do? He did not put me in a Star Trek episode.
Did he say to you, "Oh, did you create Family Guy?" And
That's what I'm saying, George.
Yeah, no, I know. And so now he's in a position where he can go, "Hey, I want to create my love letter to Star Trek, and this is how I want to create it." And Fox is like, "Well, you're like 3 out of 4.
You own us.
You're 3 out of 4. Your fucking comedy series has been running for 12 years. Let's go, man. Let's take this ride." The pilot of this show alone cost $20 million to make.
And dude, their lighting is so poor, dude. Those
Yeah,
washes,
their lighting is rough, man. Like
I'm
the
in
effects
world
are
of events, people.
decent.
That looks like a poorly lit buffet area. in the waiting room for the upfronts at a 2-bit network.
And whoever they've got doing their continuity too, like, is kind of whack. I don't even notice that stuff usually, but I've seen so many things where it's like her head was facing the wrong direction, or she had something in their hand. Like, that's nothing, but like, it's an expensive
I
show,
don't get it.
you know. So, Star Trek. Star Trek was always used as a vehicle to tell stories that could not be told on television at the time. Here's racism through the lens of the 24th century crew. Here is homosexuality through the lens of the Star Trek Next Generation crew. Here is, transgender. Back in 1992.
Yeah, people were just starting that shit.
People were just that was brand new, right? Brand new,
yeah.
brand new stuff. And Caitlyn Jenner, who? What? It's my People magazine reference for the.
Yeah. So you're still reading us as fast as you can.
I came home the other day, and there was a People magazine on the table.
Did it mention how Idris Elba will never return to television, George?
Did not.
You see how I remember shit like that?
The first thing I thought was, I can never let Kevin see this. Anyway, so yeah, Star Trek has been, and here's the thing that I wanted to bring up. The original series of Star Trek had a lot of like bravado and machismo. It was like kind of like a Western, and I almost was like, well, this show is doing that only with jokes. And is that okay? Is it okay that it's like, yeah, it's the similar level of cheese as the original series. It's just a little different because it's doing it with constant humor instead of like constant over dramatic elements.
Well, so it's been less humorous by episode 3.
Yes. And the tone shifted.
And I think perhaps that's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Perhaps he came...
it's the train.
Yeah. If you can guess this location, folks. Well, just someone email.
I guess come knock on the door.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We'll totally be here. We don't have to check out at 11 or anything.
No.
Yeah.
This is not a Motel 6 on Colorado Boulevard.
Yeah. Hey, I forgot what I was saying. The train took it away.
Episode 3.
Yeah, well, so I think that the first one started out like goofy funny.
Totally.
And then the second one balanced it more. And the third one got the most serious, and even just like you spoke about issues that Star Trek could do, the issue of a transgender operation on a 1-year-old alien was the main thrust of it. The episode was called About a Girl, and there was a tribunal on the alien's planet. That was bungled. They bungled that poorly.
I did not finish watching that episode.
Out of disgust?
I was watching it for free on Fox.com, and they either make you watch an interactive ad or a series of ads, but if you wait too long, it just goes to a series of ads. And I waited too long. Not like I was trying to make the decision or something. I was just doing something else. And,
I wonder if I'll interact
with
it. Yeah.
Twice in a row, because they show you, like, this is ad 1 of 4.
Right.
Twice in a row, there was an ad for the new Medea Hollywood Halloween movie with Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
And I had like 15 minutes left in the episode, and I was just like, I can't. I just can't. Like, I was done.
Well, George, yeah.
So I honestly did not have... Because here's the thing. By the time we get to episode 3, and it's doing what Star Trek does, which is like using it as a vehicle for social issues and everything.
Are you on nerd rage by then?
I already dislike the jokes. I dislike the tone of the show. I dislike the characters. And I don't even give a damn.
I wanted to enjoy it.
I wanted to.
It
yes,
kind of sucked from the gate. I want there to be a cool new sci-fi show to watch once a week.
Yeah, I wanted to like this show badly. I wanted to like it badly, and it
was like a shitty Futurama shot with real film.
And Futurama was great. I couldn't avoid I couldn't avoid like the Galaxy Quest comparison, and I kept thinking like this has been done so much better before. But I still found there were moments like his comedy definitely works at times. There's some really
every
good
once in a while, but so
interactions.
that's why I say it's like The Office in space. I mean, the jokes that worked did not need to be in space. And then so
Right.
we get into the stuff where, like, I don't believe these guys are any members of a federation, of a union ship.
No, because you can't have
They're
it both
jackasses.
ways. Yeah. Total jackasses. Like, they're doing...
Like, they would never be able to... You'd never be the helmsman.
They're
and be
doing
that much of a
shots
fucking
and,
ass.
like, you know, like the first... We're introduced to one of the helmsmen, and the first joke he makes is about how he's like, hey, you know, the captain used to let us have soda on the bridge. So it's got... You're establishing this, like... This
Asinine.
atmosphere of total, like, schlocky 1980s ski school, everybody's a jokester mentality, but you're doing it on a fucking starship in an intergalactic federation, and it just doesn't fit. It doesn't.
Well,
like
that's in that joke. That's a workplace joke.
It's a workplace
I get
joke.
that joke. Like,
Yeah.
like it would be the guy who misses the point. He misses the point as a new captain. All he needs to know is that he can keep a soda on the counter. Like, there are rules in kitchens about where you keep a personal
so that that worked
beverage.
for you. That one.
It did, except you don't have a fucking soda in space on your fucking spaceship. So it was like, cool, good joke.
Good joke.
Not in space.
Good joke, not in fucking space.
It's
Yeah,
like,
you
yeah,
know.
for you know what? You know where that joke works? In Party Down.
In Party Down.
In Party
Yeah,
Down.
There we go.
There's some
It's
dude who
worst
misses
place.
the beat. It's a new cater captain, and all he wants to know is if he can keep his personal drink about where the chef's table is.
Because it lets you know who this guy is and everything.
Exactly.
It doesn't,
But he's
like-
not that guy.
But he's not
so
that
the
guy.
jokes
He's-
the jokes don't land the characters. All of a sudden they're a total jackass and they hate you, or they're totally mature.
Yeah. And it shifts completely.
yeah.
Like, you can't have the
According to
captain...
the
can't have the
script.
captain saying to the doctor, like, oh, you don't think I have the balls, do you? And then in the next episode, he's standing toe-to-toe with an alien, like, trying to talk tough. You know, like, the tone of the series changes. The jokes are all over the fucking place. Like, they're just... And so much of it is just this, like, kind of nauseating relationshipy humor. There's like a little bit of a will they won't they in the second episode. Like, the second episode deals with them getting the captain and the first officer, who are the ex couple, getting transported to an alien zoo, and they're
Which
hanging
is like a
out.
total Twilight Zone.
Total
thing.
Twilight
I
Zone
mean,
thing,
obviously he would know this.
Yeah,
So we're always faced with, why do you write us there?
I'm
Why
waiting
do
for.
you write me to a place that's like conventional wisdom or common knowledge and
My cynicism has me going, we're going to see a reiteration of basically Star Trek episodes of the things that, like, this is going to become like a Robot Chicken thing where we're just seeing Seth MacFarlane toss things out because they existed, which is essentially what the humor of Family Guy
Well,
is. It's like, hey, let me make a joke about
I think
Optimus
that's
Prime,
postmodern
because-
pastiche.
you know, but that's shitty.
Oh yes, yes.
You know, like,
but
it's cheap. It's
So,
way
yeah.
easy.
I think it's fair to say that this show might catch its stride, and it can, and it's going to grow on people. I think it's easy to recognize it's going to get beat up, just like we are, and that takes some of the steam out of this episode for me. Honestly, I'm like, great, yeah, hey, listen, listener, yeah, I'm going to bag on something, but
All
I'm
right.
trying to get an edge where I'm like, folks, I'm a hardcore sci-fi guy. In this is not my speed, I guess. I don't know
Look,
what the hell it's doing.
Bottom line for me, like, I'm a really big Star Trek fan. I'm not buying into the, if you like Star Trek, you're gonna like this. I just don't think this is funny. Like, and that's really what it comes down to for me, is like, I really don't think it's that. I don't think it's good. You know, I don't find the characters compelling. I don't find the humor to be like, oh, I'm gonna tune in every week for this. And I wanted to start this episode with almost like I don't know why we're talking about this, because it's the same deal. It's sort of like, I don't want to start this and just start.
I thought we
bagging
talk
on
about these
something.
stuff because you don't read. Isn't that why we talk about shows and shit?
Kevin, I don't know how to read.
Oh, now you're putting that one up.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, that worked real well when we got pulled
never-
over that one time.
I never
You broke down
learned-
into yours, officer. I don't know how to read. Sir,
Remember-
did you see that with a stop sign?
Remember in the 80s
Yeah.
when there was like those after school specials, and it seemed like there was an exorbitant amount of ones that were just about guys who didn't know how to read that were in their like 40s, and they were just like, I didn't know how to read. You gave him the wrong medicine. That's because I don't know how to read, you know. And
Hey, fake it till you make it. Well, she's dead for real.
Well, she's really dead.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I made it then. Let me crack a beer and fly a spaceship.
Yeah, George, why do people say we're whack?
We got a couple comments about because on social media we are, by the way, on Instagram at BDD Sci-Fi. You could also follow us on Twitter at BDD Sci-Fi, or search for Busy Dads Do Sci-Fi on Facebook and give us a like. Maybe even share us, send us out a smoke signal, whatever.
You all want to hear us on Terry Gross.
But Gross Terry.
Basically, if you hate us, like us, because then you'll get to see us get burned by Terry Gross for being horrible people.
We are willing to make fools of ourselves.
Yeah,
I do
mean,
it-
willing. I mean, you make it sound like it's a
I
choice.
do it pretty much on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So I usually do a lead up and I do a couple posts about what we're going to talk about. And I guess to some of our listeners, it was a little clear from our Instagram posts that I was not a huge fan of the comparison between the Orville and Star Trek, or of just the Orville in general. And a couple people posted saying, one specifically, the Orville is fantastic. If you don't like it, you're whack.
Mm-hmm.
Is this where we're at, man? Are we whack?
Now,
Are we
whack
whack?
is cool.
I don't think whack
Was
is
whack
cool.
ever cool?
No, whack was never cool.
No?
That is
You
whack.
dip some marijuana and some formaldehyde? Isn't that whack?
No. That's
No, and that's not the name of it.
No.
And
You're
that is
talking.
good.
Oh no,
Yeah,
no. You wouldn't call that
that's
whack.
not good.
The guy who thinks that that's a little too much would be like, no, that's whack, man. Like that ain't cool.
I know that, yeah.
And is it formaldehyde or is it embalming fluid?
Isn't that
Never heard
both?
that one. What's that
I thought
called?
embalming fluid is formaldehyde.
Damn
This no Google policy.
God. Damn it. Hey,
So many things we could learn.
If there are any kids out there who know the difference between whether or not dipping weed in embalming fluid or formaldehyde is whack, give us a buzz at bddsci-fi@gmail.com and
Definitely.
and let us know. You know.
Yeah.
So I mentioned Galaxy Quest already.
Yes.
So what is a good sci-fi show that has a comedic bend? What does that look like? There's a couple things about this show that they got right. The character Bortus, who's basically like the Klingon, I really like him. The robot character Isaac, I think that one's got a lot of potential. And the thing is that he's been wasted. You know, like he's kind of fallen into the background.
They'll do more.
I know it's and some of it for me comes down to like I find Seth MacFarlane to be kind of unappealing as a leading man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He doesn't. I don't know this for sure, but he seems like he doesn't act well. Like his face is always caught waiting a little long or something. And again, this makes me go, what are you doing here, man? Does a guy who can get to make his dreams get to make his dreams?
Like,
if I'm standing in his shoes, is it a really good year for me because my show's out?
But is it also just like irresponsible of you as the show creator to go like, well, this must be me. Yeah, I've got to be this character. You know, I got to be this lead character. I remember because he had a string of, the movie Ted, where he plays the talking teddy bear, came out, and then they did a sequel to that. And then he did a movie called A Million Ways to Die in the West, where Liam Neeson plays the bad guy, and Neil Patrick Harris is in it, and he plays the lead in it.
Yeah.
And it's
how was that received?
I think moderately well. Like the people who like Seth MacFarlane really, really liked it and thought it was funny. I saw it and it was kind of funny. Like it was just funny enough, but I was really surprised that he took that step of going, now I've got to be in
we
this.
haven't said it. Is he a fucking egomaniac?
I think
Do
he
we
might
know
be an
this about this guy?
egomaniac. Not only that, but he was in a fucking... I forgot this completely until right now. There was a TV show on ABC called The Happening a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And he was on it as playing the straight man. And you could tell it was just like Seth MacFarlane got this job because he's Seth MacFarlane. Like he was like an agent at the Homeland Security, and
these are people who learn how to act on nationally syndicated television shows.
Exactly. Like like he got the job because he was. It's like when you're really famous and you go to college. Like James Franco went to Yale. Because he just like was James Franco.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
It's like, hey guys, can I go to Yale? You got it. Come on in.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, can I make this TV show that's kind of a love letter to Star Trek? You sure thing, Mr. MacFarlane.
Here's what I wanted. That third episode was the most rich in its content, and I was surprised at how insensitive it was in an inverse way. I mean,
completely.
We had a culture of what's this, the guy who looks like who's supposed to be the Klingon? What's his name?
Bortus.
And where's he from?
He is
Bortus
he's like a
is
Klingon Vulcan. He's
male
a Klaken or something
race.
Like that. All male.
Every 75 years, a female is born, and wouldn't you know it, Bortus and his partner, the other man, have a girl.
The other man is played by Chad Coleman.
And they want her to have an operation, which will turn her into a male. And wouldn't you know it, that all the humanoids think this is whack.
They think it's whack.
And so me as a sci-fi guy, wow, you would never stoop to this level of insensitivity to a race that is all male. Like it's like, wow, on our ship, now we're going to bring up the question. It's they get down to this planet, and by fate and premeditation, they prove that yes, a female is worth a fuck.
Yeah.
And the race is like, wow, they and actually the one smart thing is the tribunal still votes to uphold the ability for that little girl to be turned into a boy, which I thought was brave. And they move on, and it becomes a bigger thing about love. And they're like, you know what? Even though I lost my side of this argument, we can still love this kid. That the humanoids would be at a tribunal speaking about the rights of women was so heavy-handed. Humanoid women just questioning like alien races. Oh, like who fucking dude? They're male, but they reproduce. Like why the fuck? You don't need a female.
Yeah.
And you're bringing the values of a earthbound female in the 21st century.
Into the 20, and there's even like a quippy scene where like the girl is talking about how and there was, I mean, this is a, by the way, yes, this is certainly rich and deeper in some of the mythology, but this is also the same episode in which like the guy who they're trying to prove kind of the intellectual worthlessness of men at some point is asked, what was the capital of the United States of America? And he says Nabisco and things like that. And I found myself going like, what the fuck are you doing in the 24th century? Referencing Nabisco, referencing Bill Nye the Science Guy. And why am I supposed to like think this is it at all funny?
And this is your helmsman.
So
this fuck is supposed to fly a spaceship. He's flying your spaceship.
This guy is flying.
He also drinks beer at 9:15.
Also drinks beer at 9:15 a.m.
He's probably beyond human aid when it comes to that.
Certainly, they need the alien race.
Yeah.
That's what they meant, right?
Yeah.
So
too easy to beat up. I hope it does what it needs to do. Will I watch the next episode? I mean, it might have done its work.
Well,
but
I am probably not going to seek this out unless somebody says to me like a couple months from now, like, oh, you need to get over that hump. Something like that. Like, it really hits its stride this point,
Just make sure it's not that person who told us that, what was the slow burn?
What was the slow burn?
It was some Netflix,
it was,
dude. It's a slow burn.
It's a slow burn.
Yeah.
What was that? It was the Continuum?
No, the military one. We don't watch
Dark Matter?
Dark. Yeah.
No, was it?
No,
Dark
it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that was fucking terrible. But yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, but dude, this might like mid-season, like, because I mean, even like Star Trek: The Next Generation, it sucked its first couple episodes.
Well,
Like, it was trying to mime original series
so
stuff.
Close to Star Trek. Me not really having any basis in Star Trek and no real interest. It was like a double whammy. I was like, because I know the gist of an episode, and that last episode certainly took us through a thing where it like resolves up.
Yeah.
And we get a takeaway, if you will, right? That Star Trek's smart like that,
Yeah.
right?
Smarter.
And I was
than
just
this,
like,
but
great. I don't even want to fucking see this shit.
No.
I wouldn't select.
I feel kind of the same way. Like, I'm just sort of like, I'm kind of punched out.
People, you've been duped again.
But
Please
here's
continue
the thing.
to read.
Here's the thing. If you don't think this is whack, that's cool. Like, if this brings a few people into the fold of science fiction, because here's another thing about Seth MacFarlane. All right, I enjoy Family Guy. I've not seen it in years, but I remember having a blast with that show.
Of course,
for a very long
we
time.
all dug the first season, right?
I think he's a good and kind of an original writer. So I'm excited to see like what he possibly could do with this whole idea. But if it continues as is, which seems to be just like the will they won't they stuff and kind of miming just old science fiction tropes and playing them for laughs, add a couple Family Guy style humor in there, and then it's just like...
And is this a bait and switch? Is this like, wow, it's Seth MacFarlane, it's supposed to be a little raw, it's a little bit funny, and then we're just going to streamline into just episodic bullshit in space?
Yeah, I think that's what we're dealing with.
And then if so, folks, if they replicate something like episode 3 every time, I think you're killing your own brain cells.
I
don't really know. You seek other avenues.
Well, this is not like I can't see this show. And again, I'm exercising a gift right now, but I can't see this show exercising like a season-long story arc or something like that. Something like that Star Trek would do. Like
Star Trek does that.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude. Like Enterprise used to have some fantastic, like 10-episode long story arcs.
Well, he might do it. If he loves it, he's going to try, right?
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
If he loves Star Trek like he does, he's going to try.
See, I don't know if he does.
I'm sure he does.
That's really cynical.
I'm sure he does.
I'm denigrating his love of Star Trek based on this product.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think someone who loves Star Trek would have
would
created this, the Orville. Well, that's like calling your ship like the Howard. It's like the Turk.
So I'm torn between like thinking he comes to it and he thinks it's wonderful, or if he's got a bunch of people and they decide about it.
Oh, I think that he's kind of running the show. I mean,
yeah, it must be, but those are those boardrooms we never accurately imagine. With the cigars and the guys.
With producer Vic and Tony the intern's getting coffee and the cigars, and they're lighting them with dollar bills. Trying to get him coffee, scratching at the window.
Yeah.
Let me
he
in.
Locked himself out.
Yeah, the guys, there's a key. No, you just got to turn it the other way, man. Come on, Tony. So, I think those boardrooms exist.
We don't.
No.
Yeah. Not here at the Motel 6 on
Colorado
Boulevard, East Pasadena.
It's just the podcasting life,
Should
man.
we let him know?
It's a lonely life.
We are actually in a witness protection program. Patrick Rothfuss
came at us, man.
Came at us hard.
He was
probably smoking
lit
that
up,
weed,
man.
Smoking that weed in the formaldehyde, man.
He had
that guy. He's like a big bearded dude.
He's a big bearded dude.
He looked rough.
He had full-on red wine lips too. Like it was all over the beard. He beelined right at me. I didn't even see my hand pick up the brick. That
you were lucky. You were lucky.
I am lucky. You know what? I'm blessed. Is what I am. Blessed to be
Yeah,
sharing this studio apartment
Yeah.
in Provo, Utah, with you right now,
Yeah.
man. I miss my family, but they've got the 3 episodes of the Orville sitting there on the
Keeping 'em
computer,
warm.
keeping them warm, man.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
I'm
Patrick
gonna
Rothfuss,
I'm gonna wait for
if
a
you
better.
ever need a hand extended to you, and if you need help, email us bddsci-fi@gmail.com.
Oh, I'm
We'd
pretty-
love to talk you off the ledge. I'll help you ghostwrite the book, buddy.
I don't think we're ever gonna be seeing Patrick
I
Rothfuss
bet
again.
he's coming. He's coming back,
I don't know, man.
dude. Well, I mean, when he gets out,
We buried him really deep in the woods.
if he's lucky, well,
Oh man, is that like did I just threaten someone?
maybe.
Oh man,
He did.
did I just? Is it even worse
Hey,
now that I
it was
said?
self-defense. You have not. Have you? You haven't read these books.
No,
Well,
I really have no idea who this guy is who's trying to kill me.
You. Yeah, I kind of started it, but somehow he figured out where your house was.
That's not what I remember. I remember him starting it,
Well, he was the one who wrote those books
Yeah.
that he can't finish.
calling me late at night, and you could hear in the background that he was wringing his fingers around champagne glasses. You know, that really weird stuff that guy's into.
R and the C, R and the R.
R and the
He's
R.
rimming Joyce.
He's rimming
Rimming
the Joyce.
which is a name of a crystal collection.
Rimming the Joyce.
Yeah.
Before I murdered George. Hello, George. Is that what he sounds like?
We don't know. He doesn't.
Hello,
talk.
George.
He
I'm
writes, George.
I'm
He doesn't
Patrick
talk.
Rothfuss.
Yeah.
Lovely to see you again. That's Robert Goulet, I think. So,
Oh, is it?
guys, this show.
Is he a friend of Meredith Burgess?
Oh yeah. They go way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
This show-
imagine.
Just keep talking. We got to get these people out of
We
here.
gotta get these people out of here. What do we got?
gonna say
We're
this
just killing
show-
time. This show sucked, guys.
It just sucks.
I'm really sorry. I feel sorry that we talked about this show. Like I feel like a little like what are
I
we
feel we've
doing,
pandered.
man?
We
should have
pandered
just
to Fox.
We should have just fucking watched like Predator or something and talked about that. That would have been more enjoyable than 3 episodes. Dude, they're 45 fucking minutes long, Kevin.
Yeah.
These are like CSI episodes.
It's the real
You
deal.
know, it's like
he went all the way.
yeah, the original series, the original Star Trek was 30 minutes lean. I might be wrong about that.
Kirk Star Trek?
Kirk, Scotty. He's no Kirk, Seth MacFarlane. He is barely a
He knows that.
Catherine Janeway.
I don't even know what that means.
Captain from Voyager.
Okay.
Voyager.
Female captain?
Yeah.
They never should have given that operation. See, and that's why you don't convert your female, whatever alien species that is, into males, because they might run a starship. Yet another argument. The great writer of their civilization was female. She was a hermit, actually. Avoided the surgery.
Avoided
and
the surgery.
was able to move the hearts of men, but not their minds. So fuck all y'all.
You know what's funny about the female captain in Star Trek?
What?
The entire premise of that series is that the ship gets lost.
Is it?
Yeah.
So it's a female driver joke?
and she gets lost.
Female driver joke.
Well, I think we just made it that. Like, you know.
No, that's what you just said. Is this common knowledge?
Of
Is everyone
course,
like,
yeah.
oh,
No,
she gets lost.
the whole show is like in the first episode they get zapped all the way across the galaxy. The entire show is them trying to make the
Is that Deep Space Nine?
No, Voyager. They're trying to make 100-year journey back to Earth, and it's like who
Just
they
100
care.
years?
It's a long fucking time. They don't have cryogenic freeze. Well, they do, but they don't utilize it like a lot of science fiction does. Because they want to get back and see like their loved ones and stuff. They're hoping to like find a shortcut on the way. You want me to tell you about Deep Space Nine now? Because Deep Space Nine, there's some
that's
heavy
DS9 to
political
the
shit
STDs.
going on here, man. You aware of the Arab-Israeli conflict? All right. You want to see that through the lens of the Cardassians and the Bajorans? Because that's
The
what's going on.
Kardashians?
Nice.
Yeah.
Keeping up with the Cardassians.
Yeah. I'll take some slurry and tequila with that. Because I've got a bar on my
Holy
ship. By the way, the
shit,
furniture
that
sucks
fucking-
too! What the fuck is that set?
That fucking episode, the second episode
That's
ends.
like waiting to get your fucking golf shoes cleaned, man.
I just realized that the second
Whatever that
episode
means.
ends with them watching like the Real Housewives of. There's a reality television show joke in that show. The Zoo episode ends,
Yes.
and they give them
hundreds of
like
files.
a bunch of files that contain all of the reality shows as like their best.
So we just
Trash,
remembered
yes.
more stuff that makes. Anyways,
Oh wow!
Seth
We got
MacFarlane,
another. I got another 48
I wish
minutes
you
in me,
will.
man.
I wish you well, man.
Yeah, me too.
And you know what? Thanks for approving that, because you are well.
You're doing
You're
well.
Orville.
You're doing well.
You're
You're
Orville.
Orville.
You're Orwell.
Orville. We got to get out of here.
Mhm.
This
Yeah.
is just. Good night, nurse.
Good night.
Where's the stop?